Hi friends, Justin Hibbard here, host of the Why Catholic podcast with another frequently asked Catholic question, which I try to answer in about 5 minutes or less. Today's Catholic question is, why do Catholics pray to the saints? Now, the short answer is because the Bible makes it clear that there's this connection between us on earth and the saints in heaven, and our prayers here on earth and the saints' intercession. Now, let me give you a bigger explanation. Let's start off with 4 objections that Protestants often make about Catholics praying to the saints. First of all, they will say that this is some sort of form of polytheism. We should only pray to God, and because we're praying to the saints, we're practicing some sort of idol worship or polytheism. A second objection is that we are adding a mediator between God and man. So we're adding another mediator. Jesus is our only mediator, and here we're adding saints to that. A third objection is that these people are dead. They can't hear us. And a fourth objection is that this is a form of paganism, that like necromancy, where we're conjuring up dead spirits. So let me explain what Catholics mean by praying to the saints, and I'll get to all 4 of these objections in that description. First of all, we need a little bit of a clarification, because what we're really doing when we're praying to the saints is asking the saints for intercession. The word pray to here is we're using that old English form of pray to. You might read Shakespeare and someone says, pray, tell me this, And so the pray does not mean like you're a deity and I'm praying to you, like, please help me with this. It's like, tell me this. So in that, we're using the word pray in that sense, but really a better translation is we're asking saints for intercession. Now, does that make them a mediator? Well, let me give you an analogy that was really helpful for me. When I need prayer, what do? I ask a friend for prayer. That doesn't make them a mediator. It makes them an intercessor, right? I want intercession. The Bible tells us to pray for each other without ceasing. So when I need prayer, who am I going to go to? Am I going to go to someone who's a lapsed Christian, who doesn't really have a prayer life, who doesn't really live a godly life? Or am I going to go to that person that really walks closely with the Lord and has a strong prayer life, and I know they're going to pray for me? Well, obviously the latter, right? Now, here's the other question. Do we believe in soul sleep? In other words, when we die, our soul just sleeps in the ground until the second coming. No, we don't. We believe what Paul says, that absent from the body is present with the Lord. So therefore, these saints are in heaven in the very presence of God. And because they are in the presence of God, they're in the full capacity that God has created them to be. And so therefore, I'm going to pray to them knowing that they're in God's very presence, and I'm going to ask them to intercede on my behalf. Well, it brings up the question, can these saints actually hear us? And here are a few arguments where I think they actually can, or there's some way that they have knowledge of our prayers. First of all, in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1, the writer of Hebrews says, we are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses. Now, what he's referring to is he's referring to saints, and he's referring to the people in Hebrews chapter 11 who were those faith hall of fame people. Well, what do they have all in common? They're all dead. So he's saying we're surrounded by these dead saints. Now, when that word surrounded is perikemai, and it means to be encompassed or bound to. So there's something mystical about how we're connected to these saints in heaven. We're bound to them. Then the second thing that comes to mind is Revelation chapter 5, verse 8, because here we see the elders are actually carrying the prayers of people on earth in these bowls, and they're carrying them to the throne of God. They are interceding, quite literally, carrying our prayers to the throne of God. One of the things that I think we have to remember is that when we go to heaven, to live is Christ, to die is gain. We don't lose our faculties. If anything, we gain more of our faculties. And if intercession is such an important part of a Christian's life on earth, why would that go away in heaven? I don't know about you, but I need all the help that I can get. And so this is one of the reasons why I love this idea of the communion of saints and asking the saints for intercession. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please be sure to subscribe here on YouTube and check out the description where I have links to the Why Catholic podcast and specifically links to the communion of saints and the idea of praying to the saints. Thanks so much for watching. God bless.